Saving Mr. Banks was directed by John Lee Hancock. It stars Emma Thompson, Tom Hanks, Colin Farrell, Bradley Whitford, BJ Novak, Jason Schwartzman. Yeah. Saving Mr. Banks tells the story of P.L. Travers, the author of Mary Poppins, and how Walt Disney continually approaches her trying to adapt Mary Poppins into a movie, and how she doesn't want to. And it's kind of about the creative differences that she has with the creative team played by Bradley Whitford, Jason Schwartzman, and BJ Novak. Also, a good part of the movie is flashbacks to P.L. Travers' youth and her experiences with her father, played by Colin Farrell, and the actual Mary Poppins. I was planning on seeing The Wolf of Wall Street with my dad, and then he found out what kind of content was in that, and so instead we went to see Saving Mr. Banks. I did want to see it, but I wasn't extraordinarily pumped for it, like Wolf of Wall Street or American Hustle or other kind of movies I've been seeing recently. I did want to see it, but just not that much, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised by this movie. I got very emotionally invested. I really did care about all of the characters. The plot was a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. There's no sort of any kind of sex, violence, language, any kind of really anything going on, and yet it still manages to have a plot that goes on for a solid 2 hours. I don't remember how long it was. The acting was what really put this over the top for me. Emma Thompson as P.L. Travers, the author of Mary Poppins, was just fantastic. She really managed to make you feel for a character who's being really uppity the entire time, and you're really not supposed to like her, but you are supposed to like her at the same time, and that somehow pulled off. Don't ask me how. Tom Hanks was also very good. Tom Hanks is always awesome. He really did do a convincing portrait of Walt Disney. He was a really nice guy. You could tell he was the guy that made all those Disney movies, because he was just so happy all the time. He was so bubbly. And some of the things that Emma Thompson said to him, you could tell that he was hurt. He had a little puppy dog face. She would insult his movies. He's I don't want you to turn Mary Poppins into some fruity fairy tales. No one likes those. And he's just he got sad. And you felt bad for him, and Walt Disney's just a great guy, you could tell. Colin Farrell was actually one aspect of this movie that I didn't hear much about, but him as P.L. Travers' dad, he was absolutely fantastic. He was probably my favorite actor in this movie, the performance-wise. He was just so good. I felt terrible for him. There's one scene, I'm not going to say anything about it, besides it's the scene where he gives a speech at the carnival, that I wanted it to end because it was just so gut-wrenching. I am a huge fan of Jason Schwartzman. It always sounds weird when I say his name because I'm Jason Schwartzman. Jason Schwartzman. Jason Schwartzman and BJ Novak and Bradley Whitford as the writers and the songwriters were also really, really funny. They were charming and they were funny. I liked them a lot. The sets and the costumes looked nice. They looked like the time period, and they looked really cool. The cinematography was nice. The colors blended really well together. The camera moved realistically. It wasn't really anything awesome, but it was good. The soundtrack was very good. It was mostly made up of songs from Mary Poppins, but they put new spins on them, especially Let's Go Fly a Kite. After seeing this movie, Let's Go Fly a Kite just has an entire new meaning for me, as well as a lot of the other songs. The structure of the flashbacks was good. It wasn't necessarily obvious when a flashback was going to come, but the flashbacks added a lot to it, I thought, especially because of Colin Farrell. And actually, the actress that played young P.L. Travers, because she's a very little kid, she was also very, very good. I'm not going to lie, I was holding back tears at one point during the movie. It didn't make me bawl like a lot of movies do, but they were about to start coming down. It's a pretty emotional thing, and I did not expect myself to get that emotional about it. John Lee Hancock, I didn't really know about him. Only when I looked home I found out he directed The Blind Side too. I liked him. I think he did well. He really brought out good performances, and it wasn't anything awesome, but it was very solid direction, I thought. Yeah, this is a really just feel-good family movie, but it's not a family movie in the sense of a Disney movie, even though it is a Disney movie, literally about Disney. But people of all age will like it. And everything came together really well, especially the acting. Emma Thompson and Colin Farrell were phenomenal. I'm going to give Saving Mr. Banks an A. Next, we are going to have... I did The World's End. We're going to have... Much Ado About Nothing. Bye.